So as we do every week, we're going to just adjust our posture, make sure that we're well supported, whether we're sitting on the floor on a cushion or sitting in a chair or a couch, especially on the couch, resist the temptation to slouch. We do need our spine to be straight, not rigid, but straight. If you're sitting on a chair, please make sure you've got some support under your feet if they don't go all the way to the ground. And just make sure you're warm if you're like me in somewhere like Melbourne where it's a bit cold at the moment. We get cool very quickly when we're sitting still. And then just let's move a little bit, release a few of the tensions of the day. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your hands, your stomach. Anywhere where you think you're just holding a bit of the day's tension. It's Wednesday, we can let that go. Tension out of the face, even out of the scalp. And then let's take a couple of deep breaths together. And now with your eyes either open or closed, we will just sit for a few minutes just to settle our minds. I'm going to clear all the unnecessary thoughts of the day and all the things that we're hanging on to. We're just going to breathe them out. So eyes open or closed, whatever's comfortable for you. Just focusing on the breath. As things arise, just breathe them out. You don't need to hang on to anything that's happened today. It's all done. And if it's morning for you, maybe you're still hanging on to things from yesterday. And with each breath, just feel more settled, more relaxed, more present for yourself. We're not drifting off into a daydream. We're being present and aware in our bodies right now. Thoughts arise, don't engage with them. Allow them to drift away. Don't write that movie in your head. And just a few deeper breaths. Bring yourself back to the here and now. You had your eyes closed, now you can open them. And do another little quick stretch. It's often how, when we let go in that first sit, that we feel things unlock. Today, before we sit again, our next session, I wanted to talk a little bit about this concept of thoughts arising. You know, you hear lots of terms like monkey mind thrown around, and people talk about, you know, what to do with these thoughts, and there's lots of very complicated suggestions on how to deal with the thoughts. And I think sometimes it's much simpler than we think, really. So I'm just going to read to you some notes that I've written about this previously. Why meditate? Why explore this inner world? Many people take up meditation to help deal with depression, stress, and anxiety, and it can help. But as our minds settle and our emotions still arise, and we are confronted with our real selves, it can be overwhelming and confronting. One thing we can learn from meditation is that we cannot avoid emotion. We can't avoid thinking, and we can't avoid feeling. It's part of the human condition. You're going to turn your brain off in that degree. Many of our thoughts arise from emotions. There's this self-fulfilling cycle. We feel something, then we think about it, or we think about something and we have a feeling about it. Fundamentally, all emotion is either positive or negative, or so we think. But as these thoughts with their emotions arise, we begin to judge them. Good, bad, very bad, don't go there. In fact, it's all the same. As one of my dear teachers says, good taste, bad taste, same, same. So often we classify things as good or bad depending on how they affect us. Yet it can just dissolve. It doesn't matter. We say good, we say bad, but moving house or getting divorced creates the same sort of stress levels as Christmas or a new baby in the family. So things that we traditionally consider to be positive can create the same sort of stress, high stress, as things that we traditionally think of as negative. Our body doesn't know the difference. This is a really important point. Our body does not know the difference. So we can stop labeling it. It's just something that we are experiencing. And it's always just the story that we tell ourselves. So if we can be dispassionate a little bit and merely a witness to the thoughts and feelings as they arise, eventually they will dissolve. And we are left with peace and equanimity and ourselves. And we've made friends with our minds by stopping to think of it as a troublemaker. So when we sit and we allow a thought to arise, I might be sitting in meditation and think, oh, I forgot to hang the washing out. Oh, did I check the weather? Is it going to rain today? I won't have time to take it to the laundrette tonight to put it in the dryer. And before I know it, one simple thought about did I hang up the washing, I've written this whole big story and scenario, and I'm judging myself for forgetting. I'm creating anxiety because the washing needs to be dry. Is it raining? Is it not raining? If I stopped for a moment and thought, weather, and my rational brain knows that I will deal with it, whichever way it needs to be dealt with, and then just, okay, weather. I thought about the weather and allow that thought to go away. Allow it to arise or drift off, however it works for you. But eventually we get used to doing this, and the mind understands that when we're in the process of meditation, we're not focusing on the random things that our brain puts up for us. We like the random things we have in our dreams sometimes. So it's easy to judge yourself if you have a meditation session where a lot of thoughts and emotions arise, even if you're an experienced meditator. This happens to everybody. It happens to everybody. And so it's okay. You just say to yourself, that's the session that I had. There is no need to judge your meditation. This is a really interesting thing that we do. We sit down and we want to do this thing that's really beneficial for us, and then we judge it. And sometimes you'll sit for 5 minutes and it will feel like hours. You know what? I'm wanting to check my clock. And other times we sit for 20 minutes, we're really in the flow and it feels amazing. And we could sit for another hour and not even think about it. That's fine. They're both fine. You're doing it, you're trying, and it doesn't matter whether it's 5 minutes of struggle or 20 minutes of bliss. Bliss is more fun, clearly. Yeah. But this is just how it is. Even really experienced meditators have times when their meditation doesn't flow. They get caught up in the thoughts and the feelings. And so it's just practice. And it's also just saying to yourself, it's okay. It's okay. So when we sit for this next part, I think we'll try and just, I'm not going to speak, I'm not going to guide you once we get started, but really be aware of the possibility of things rising to the surface and have a think before we start about how you're going to deal with them. Are you just going to breathe them away? You might recall a couple of weeks ago we did that outward breath meditation where we visualized things being blown away, the dandelion, the bubbles, the leaves off the little tree. You can do more complicated visualizations, but I think they become equally distracting, wiping a blackboard or windshield wipers. But working with the breath is your best friend anyway. So you think, okay, I'm getting caught up in this. I'm just going to breathe out. Breathe it out. So now we'll sit and just be mindful and aware if these things come out. I'm not going to engage. I'm just breathing that out. And then after we breathe it out, you return your awareness back to your breath. We're just sitting and breathing and being. Okay. So adjust your posture. I think this time we'll sit with eyes closed just to cut down on the distractions a little bit. So take a few deep breaths and close your eyes. And then just really slip into that pattern of breath in and breath out, focusing on the breath out, being very aware in your body, focusing on your breath. And conscious that if things arise, they're not real, you don't have to engage with them. Breathe them out. Okay, now slowly begin to return your awareness. Can you hear sounds around you that you've been tuning out? Move your feet a little, move your hands a little, move your body. And then when you're ready, open your eyes and return to the space.